Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we're doing another 3D printed or 3D printing video, whatever you want to call it. Today we're doing the inverted spear of heaven. I was looking around for cool stuff to do. I saw this. Looks pretty good, I would say. I had to look it up because I literally no clue what it was or its significance. I didn't really look into it. I thought it looks cool and that's all I did. There's a couple of them you can find on Maker World, but they kind of, what's it called? They're not as detailed. Like I like this one because it had damaging to it, and I feel like that also draws out some of the chrome paint we're gonna be using in today's video. So I just decided we're gonna go with this one. It's damaged. File looks pretty good and detailed. And yeah, it looks like what it was in the pictures I could find. So we're going to go for it. So pretty much you download that file, you throw it into Orca or whatever you're using, and you're going to get this mess of parts. What I did was you come here, split objects. We'll run through that. It'll give you a bunch of objects, and you can drag them out to what you want. As I said, damage version. You're not going to be using that. Comes to this. What did I do? I got rid of this. Just use tape. You don't really need that. If you want to have it like that, that's cool. I just used hockey tape. I showed in the video. Put that on a separate plate. These I printed all in the same thing. Don't do what I did. I printed it like that. That's a terrible way to print it. Print it like that. You'll have a lot less of top layer lines to worry about. And there goes my dog. Same thing with this ring and that. Print them on their flat surfaces, because flat surfaces are it makes the print more likely to succeed, and then it also keeps lines to a minimal instead of having this whole thing supports everywhere. Now they're only on the inside where it really doesn't matter. And then you just want them decently spaced. Let me move it. Thank you. It's decently spaced out. This is your handle. And then you come here. The whole thing. Yeah, I was about to say it doesn't fit on the printer. So what I did is also because this part, I do want this part separate because, you're going to want to sand this part down because you're going to be painting and priming all of this. And I have a new way of making them smoother. It works absolutely amazing. Really excited to show that to you guys. But you really don't want that big stick there. You don't want it like this. You're going to want to sand that down. Jeez, I can't talk. You're going to want to cut it down. I had to sand mine for 3 minutes, 80 grit. Really not that bad. You just pressure force it down. Take this, get it to where, about there, where you're, you just want to make sure you're not taking any of the actual blade. You can have some of, the bar on the blade. It really doesn't make a difference. Add connectors. Now, when you add connectors, especially something like this, you're going to want to take an Allen wrench. Allen wrenches usually are perfect for this size that come in your 3D printer, when you have to build it. They should just come with an Allen wrench. Just heat that up with a lighter and put it in the hole of whatever part and just kind of wiggle it around, and it should make it open. You have to be careful when it's, oh, I just ruined it. What the heck is going, what is going on? Can I not edit my view, please? Let me, there we go. You do have to be careful though, because you do not want whatever it's called. You don't want to ruin the part, so you do have to be extremely careful. But it's really not that hard. I've never messed it up yet. And you just cut a little top off the peg, sand down where you heated it up, just so you make sure it's flat and you're good to go. You want to hit perform cut. There you go. Your parts will be split. Throw a build plate there. Lay this flat. I don't know why you would ever print something like that upright. It just makes sense to lay it flat. For the blade, right? You could, same thing. You could print it straight up. And I mean, it would work. I mean, you might, at the top, it might wiggle a little bit and get destroyed. And then you'll come blaming me, which I don't want, please. I'm trying to help you guys. I'm not here to hurt you guys. What I did, instead of laying it flat and having a bunch of supports go up into all those cracks and taking hours to sand it out and just a bunch of time, just went like that. Nope, that's not what I did. I just gotta record when I do it the first time. I went like that, and then just swung it over like that. And came out pretty dang good. Like, say, is that good? That doesn't matter. Let that be messy. It's supposed to be messy anyway. I did not sand that once. I didn't do anything with it. I just left it destroyed. And yeah, that's pretty good. That'll turn out nice. All these parts, same thing. You just want to make sure they're all going to survive. I would use glue. Bed plate glue is a huge saver on some props. That sucks. The trick I'll show you in the video, the new way of sanding, it's beautiful. Like, you don't have to worry about it. It'll clean it up very nicely as long as you follow my steps. But I'm sure you could put it upright, but this is the way I printed it. It makes it survive easier. I mean, flat's the best way to print things. And that, which you don't really need to worry about because that's going to be connected to the handle. Handle, pretty straightforward. Just make sure you get that little brim there. Really not that big of a deal. And then that's going to do like that. Oh, global, I think. Yeah. New support setting. Absolutely amazing. 0.31 for this little setting, top Z distance. It makes the supports not exactly touch your parts. Absolute lifesaver. I would really recommend you turn this from 0.2 to 0.31. It makes removing supports a lot easier. All the parts turned out really good. You can see a little bit of messed up on the one part, and I already sanded that bar down, but you just want to hit it with a round of 80 grit. Make sure it turns gray, and just want to rub it down. Make sure you get it all covered up, and you'll be ready for the next step. Alright, so this is what it should look like when you are done with your 80 grit round, and you're just going to want to take 220 grit and rub it down, same way you did with the 80 grit. Alright, so now it's time for probably my favorite part, which is toxic chemicals that will kill you if you breathe it in. Make sure you wear a respirator and gloves for this part. It is toxic. It will mess your skin up. Do it in a aired space. I would highly recommend you do that. Be very careful. It is toxic. It will ruin your lungs. Basically, just mix these two resins together, and you're just gonna want to coat your parts in them. I put it on there so it doesn't heat up. It ended up heating up and breaking my cup anyway. But as you can see, you just want to coat all the parts in resin, nice and smooth. Make sure you get everything you want. And just cover the parts with a nice even coat. Don't put it on too thick because you will mess up details on your parts. For parts where you want it thicker, you can. But for the blade, I had to be very careful so I didn't fill all the parts up. If you do not have resin or you don't want to buy it, you can just go straight to filler primer like we did in the last video. I would highly recommend you get the resin. It pays for itself. It's a lot. When you actually look at how much you use compared to how much you use a filler primer for a whole project, I promise you it will save you money. I really recommend you use this stuff. It's really, really great. But as always, do what you want to do. There are many ways. You don't have to do the exact way I tell you. If you were to do filler primer, you would just want to do a wet dust coat and then a wet coat over all your parts, and then you would just follow along the video like normal. I cut out the part, but it's pretty much the same exact thing whether you did resin or filler primer. You just want to hit all your parts with a coat of 220 grit sandpaper, not hit them with a coat, but sand them all down, and then go over it with filler primer. When you're sanding it, you just want to make sure you're trying to tear off as much of the primer or resin that you put on there. And all my parts with the resin really turned out amazing. I think there was only the hilt guard and the bottom of the hilt that had to be ran over with another coat of filler primer. And after you hit this stage, you can just use as many rounds of filler primer as you want to smooth it. Alright, so after that, you do all your resin and stuff. You just want to look over, maybe hit some parts with another round of 220 grit, and then you're going to get to painting. As you saw, I'm hitting this with a silver or chrome metal bright coat from Rust-Oleum. And what you want to do is you just want to start off with a nice little dust coat. Just dust the part, as you can see. You don't want to go on too thick. You really don't want to ruin it. Just go nice and easy, nice and slow, and it'll turn out good. Mistakes were made, I will say, in this video. It did turn out that I used, that the paint is extremely, finicky to touch. So when I ended up picking it up off the paper and flipped it around, even though it dried for half a day, it was ruined. I got so upset. I did it 4 times in a row before I realized it was just the paint. And then I went to do a clear coat. The clear coat I had was really bad, and you'll see it in the final product. It looks really terrible. It's not great at all. But the clear coat you want to use is for cars. It's called, I think, Duplicolor 1K Extreme Gloss Clear Coat. and you're going to want to run all the parts or all your silver parts or paint that runs quickly over with it. And then as I showed, you just want to go over all the other parts with a 400 grit wet sanding. You just want to make sure you're getting those other parts as smooth as possible. I didn't do this on the first time with the blade. I did it on the final product. It does make a difference. All right, next we're going to be doing the handguard and like these little parts that go along with it. Here I'm showing you the mistakes that happened because it was finicky paint. But as you can see, it actually looks pretty solid. And we're going to be using a Krylon Dark Metallic paint. It's the same paint I used on my Chainsaw Man helmet. I call it gunmetal. If you look gunmetal up, it should come up on Amazon. But it also has like a nice metallic sparkle to it. And I think it looks really good. I think it matches well with the blade. And then next we're going to be doing the golden parts. As you can see, some of the parts, like more paint came off, or more filler primer came off with the 400 than others. That's completely okay. Just do whatever you want. If you have to go over it again, that's fine. I usually don't. Sometimes the primer can take away from the smoothness. You do you. We're using the same exact thing as with the blade. It's a Rust-Oleum metal cast, I think, metal gold. It is a lot better of a paint. It doesn't really rub off. Like, it's solid paint. It's a lot better than the chrome. So you can just hit the parts and you're good to go. All right, probably time for one of my favorite parts. You're just going to want to wrap the handle in red hockey tape. I would recommend you glue both like the blockers on. As you can see, I have the top one and the golden one with like the chain attachment at the bottom. What am I doing? I should have had it in the camera. I'm really sorry, guys. That's bad. My bad. But you just want to wrap and make sure it looks good. Take your time. I would recommend, as I said, just put the caps on so you know how far you can go up and down, and you don't have to worry about that when you try and go glue. I think this works fine. It looks good. It didn't really have the texture of the print, so I thought just wrapping it would make it look good. I do like how I did it. I do like how it turned out, but you can do however you want. All right, now for the final assembly, as you can see, like the plate is a little mess up to it, but I basically just glued everything together. I had put the rod in and glued all the other parts together and just glued the rod to the blade because I will probably go back and redo the blade when I have the better thing, or the better clear coat. But I just wanted to show you guys what it should look like, and you guys can get the better clear coat so you don't make my mistake. We're just adding some super glue, gonna put that on there. We're gonna set it off to the side, let it dry, and we're gonna connect it all together. We'll be good to go. And yeah, here is your final product. As you can see, the blade's a little messed up. Not really much I can do with that. Just came down to the paints I used didn't match well. Overall, I think it looks really good. I probably will one day go back and redo it. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, please leave them in the comments below. Please subscribe, please leave a like, and if you guys have any ideas, please shoot them out. I'm already working on this, whoever has this blade's other weapon. I saw it looks good, so be on the lookout for that video.